Yo, Larsen here, welcome to the new Letsynthesize Academy episode, and today I want to show you my attempt how I make bass sequences that sound like one full sound or one full sequence instead of like choppy one-shot sounds put after each other through this little thing I made. Like always, you can grab this whole project from my Patreon below and click here if you want to learn more about music production. I have a very nice noisy style drum and bass masterclass, but right now let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing is to duplicate the bass you already have and try to make some modification on it. So this is how this sound was made from this sound. So let me show you what I would do. So I duplicated this original bass and duplicated. So I want to keep the original. So right now we have the same sound on two channels. What I would do is just go into the modified one, choose a different filter type. Click here for this awesome noisy masterclass. This already sounds, I would say, a little different. That can be very exciting. It sounds similar, but definitely has some difference on it. So this way you can be sure that your sound will match really well. So you can go forward with the distortion filter. And with the other effects like the flanger and the phaser. Now I have this BPM filter that I love because you can create very exciting movements and modulations to your sound. So we can choose a different one. For example, my other favorite, the band reject filter. So let me find the LFO that moves these. But this is too fast, so let's pull it back to 1 bar length. And boom, we already have this sound. So this is how this sound was made. I so love it. But I would say this sound is pretty good too. So it can make a difference, a very nice difference from the original sound. Now my second tip, if these sounds would not match perfectly, you can use EQ match. So this is where I love the Pro Q from FabFilter. So let's drop it here. And your job is very, very simple. What you need to do is put the EQ8 on the new sound that you want to match with the original one. So Neuro 2 is the original one. And I want to route Neuro 2 as a reference to new. So Neuro 1 new. So let's route this to Neuro 1 new. And you can see that it already sets it to stereo sidechain input. So what you can do is click here, click EQ match and set the reference as a sidechain, external sidechain input. And now you can play your whole clip. And Pro Q analyzes both your signal, the original one and your new one. And with this, it sets up an EQ curve that will match both of your sounds. So just click on match and we are done. But first, let's set Neuro 2 back to the basis group so we can hear both of the sounds as one sequence. And of course, you can always modify this stuff. So you can go in and just tweak these curves or points, I would say. Alright, so this was my second tip. And my third tip is actually the easiest and the hardest one, because use your ears. This can be a little harder for less experienced ears, but really if you spend a lot of time, I don't know, like just 1 hour daily on producing, like sound designing and making cool sounds, you will instantly hear how to or where to tweak that EQ to match those sounds. And I would say the most important parts in basses are always the tops and the mid basses, because you don't really hear the sub, but the mid basses are very prominent in this kind of heavy basses, and the top sounds can be very, very different in heavy basses, because most of the times the mids are very empty in basses. So this is where I would say keep your eyes on, is the tops and the mid lows. My fourth tip is a stereo width. Now, because we use one preset for different instances, you don't really need to take too much attention for the stereo width, because they have the same stuff. So my pro tip for you is use your basses in mono and add stereo informations, like for example distorted sine, distorted noise, or other synths that can fill up your stereo informations in the song. But if you want to have stereo basses, I would say always play with stereo noises, and when you distort them and add different effects, it can shine. But the sub and the very low frequency informations will be mono, and this is, I would say, very important. Okay, so if you want to grab this whole project, check my Patreon below, click my academy for awesome start to finish courses if you want to learn more about overall production, sound design. But see you guys next time. Peace.